Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working with my autumn kit series, and these are photos from October of 2020, just a day out in the beautiful autumn weather to escape the pandemic for a little while. So I have all of this already. This is not the paper I'm using. This is the back of what I used over here, so I do need to find some background paper. I also need to trim this down. I loved the photo so much I blew it up to a 5x7, but because I only have 6 inches to work here, I need to get rid of an inch on the width. So I will do that at some point. And then over here, I've already picked out this photo. I've also picked out this card, but I want to do something somewhat unique with it. I actually want to cover up what's on this side is my plan. Here's the other sort of weird aspect. I have 2 photos I want to use. I've never done this, but in theory it should work. I'm thinking that I might add a 3x4 photo flip just on this side. The adhesive attaches up here, so there's no reason that I can't attach it and still have it flip up. If I decide I am going to do that, then I also need another pocket card to have in between these 2 photos. Well, given my plan for what I've already picked out, I've pulled out my autumn kit here with all the fun goodies in it so that I can start working on the background paper for the left side and maybe find another pocket card for the right side. Plus then I have all the fun embellishments, so I get to pick out those too. All right, I have picked out 2 different papers to possibly go behind this photo. I like the idea of having some orange because there are some orange leaves there. There's also orange right here in the card, and you can see some up here. So I do like that, but I also like, oops, I did that backwards. I want to keep the photo. I also like the idea of having green because there is a little bit of green here, some moss along the rocks. You can see it better in that photo, and then green peeking out right here. Those are pretty large dots, but most of this will be covered up. And I feel like if I matte this or use some white strips or something on the top and bottom to bring out the white from the waterfall, that I might be able to get away with it. And because there's white in this card, so they'd be opposite each other. So I'm thinking of that. The other option too is I could matte this on vellum. Then it tones down the green. I can still see through it, but it sort of has a white opaque look to it. So I do have some options, and I think I'm just going to cut this down first along with the photo and see how it goes. I did decide to go with the green because I looked ahead in some of my other photos, and I do have some that have more orange in them. So I'm going to keep that orange paper for those and use the green now. So I have cut this down. I can see now this is a little bit wider than 6 inches. I thought it was perfectly cut already, but I'll have to trim that down a little bit, but that's okay. Now I'm going to test. Here's what it would look like with just a white strip behind it. I should put it up next to this so I can see how they look. There will be a photo on top there. I do like that because it does make it feel like it's more cohesive, that it goes together. But let's also try the vellum and see what I think of that. No, you know what? I think it has to be the white. This doesn't give it enough of a pop. It does tone the background down a little bit, but I'm not overly concerned with that. I think breaking it up with the white strips will help the busyness of this, so I think I'm going to go with the white. Okay, I put on one of the white strips and I really like how that looks. So I have the other one ready here. I can apply that one and then just cut off the end to make sure it's aligned perfectly. I don't like to cut anything this thin on my trimmer. It tends to pull it and then it goose up and doesn't give me a clean edge. So I'll just apply it here, cut off the end, and then I'll be good to go. All right, so I have that side done for now. I'm obviously going to embellish it, but I want to start working on this side as well. And I think I might try something a little different here. I was going to do this edge to edge, but I really like seeing a little bit of that orange and green peeking out. And again, there's no rule that says I can't attach it right where I want it to the top pocket and flip it. It's not going to hinder anything. So I think I'm going to try it. So I'll put this one on top. This one will be glued to the back of the card there, and then I will have a pocket card in between So actually I need to pick that out next. I've pulled out 2 cards that I like for different reasons. I like this one for the graphic style of the word autumn and the mix of the colors. It's a pretty good match, I think, to what's here, but there's no green on it, and I wanted to bring green in. This one I like because there's a little bit of everything, including the green, but I really don't have much option for embellishing this. I might be able to fit in a phrase over here or something, or I could maybe stamp, but it doesn't leave me a lot of room. So I need to think about how do I want this to look. And then I just realized this. When I flip this up and you see this, it would be autumn next to autumn. So you know what? Can't use that. That's out. So I guess it's going to be this one. I've pulled out a bunch of my embellishment stuff because I want to work on this card before I attach the flip to it. And I do have this label that was in my bags of stuff here, so I want to use that. It's a pretty good match for that green there, I think. So it allows me to have it right here, or actually, you know what, maybe I like it kind of hanging off the edge. I might do that. And it allows me to stamp something there, which would be good. And then I can still add in a bunch of other stuff. I have my acrylics here. I mean, who knows what I'll end up adding over to this side and maybe up top, but I think I'm going to start with that. I think I'm going to use this stamp set right here, which it looks like I've never used it, or maybe I only used the one that says vacation. It's got a slight tint, so maybe I did. But I think I'm going to use the one that says go outdoors because it'll fit quite nicely in there. And actually it's very small, so I may even have to move this over a bit more than I thought and then stamp, but that's okay because it leaves me more of this. If I could pick it up, it leaves me more of this to use again, and I like doing that. If I'm going to cut off part of it, if I can use the other half for something else, all the better. All right, I have done my stamping and I have the label attached. This is what I have left. That is enough for me to save. I might be able to layer that behind something else, stamp in a very short phrase, overlap a hard embellishment, something. So I will keep that for another layout. And then I'm just going to put a mini staple right in here. Oh, looks like I'm out of staples, guys. I refilled my stapler and now that is done. For this card, I think I'm going to stamp on here as well because when it gets flipped up, it'll actually be up top here. You won't see it on top of this pocket, and then the writing won't be next to each other. But because this is a script font, I have pulled out this set, and I think I want to use this one that says Travelog, also because it's a script font. And I believe this is an old set from Coco Daisy, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't say on here, but I think I got it as part of a kit when I was subscribing to them. So if you're looking for it, I think that's who makes it. All right, I have put the flip together because I don't want to do anything with the top photo because I have this right here, and I do intend to do something over here so that these will be opposite each other. So don't want to add anything to this photo. It's basically ready. So all I have to do is attach these. I've already adhered this down. So really this will sit like this. It'll flip up on the pocket. So for now, I'm just going to put that in there. There we go. And then attach this so I can see where it's going to sit in relation to this photo. So let's make sure that's in the pocket well towards the bottom edge. I'm going to take off my adhesive. I'm going to place this over this photo as closely as possible. So it should sit about like that. Now, luckily, if you've never used these, they're pretty easy to take off if you do it maybe in the first week or two after you create a layout. You should be able to lift this off and reposition it. After that, all bets are off. It gets pretty sticky. I don't know that you'd be able to do it, but I'm liking the way that looks because then when the flip is open, you see these across from each other, which is exactly what I wanted. I've pulled out my phrases here, and I have found a green one that I like for that upper corner. It says time for a reset, which is so true because we were so sick of all being stuck inside for the pandemic. We needed to do something outdoors that was safe and beautiful. So we did get that. So I think I'm going to use that there. If I can find another phrase to work in, I might. I'm thinking orange. I could put it under this one because it would match with this. Plus, I think I want something orange over here as well. This is what I selected for this side of the photo. I did find one with orange writing that said happy day, which is perfect. And then over here, I decided to do beautiful day in a bright orange to match that a little better. And then I decided to work in a little neutral. I hadn't planned on that, but I like it because I've got sort of this gray brownish thing happening there. Here you can see the bridge again, and in the stone over here, as well as here in the rocks. So I thought it might work, but in order to bring that into this side, I think I'm actually going to bust into these and probably use one of these acorns. This one, I think this color matches better, but I think I might put it right under there, and then I have that color in both corners. So I decided to actually go with the darker, of the two. So it would have a little bit of a contrast, but pull in some of the darker shades there, and I'm really happy with that. So I used 2 of those, which is awesome. And now I think I'm actually going to stamp underneath this, or probably a little off center from it, just to bring in some of that black that's also on this page. And I have chosen my stamp, I have it ready to go, and it's hard to read here, but it says breathe it all in. All right, I think this one is done. I finished my stamping over there, so I'll do some close-ups. I love how that turned out. I like that it's off center, but it brings in the black from the other side of the page. And I love the little acorn down there along with the labels. And then on this side, I love everything I added here, and I'm pleased with the way this turned out. I wasn't sure, it was a little hard to visualize it just in my head, but now that I see it all done, I really like it. So I'm glad I chose to do a little something different on that one. So here's another one done in my Autumn Kit series. Thanks for watching.